All right. Raise your hand if you are part of this DSPA cohort. I see a lot of DSPA shirts, but, well, thank you for joining. I just want to give you a brief background of community. I've been with Filecoin Foundation for a year now, and I've worked with storage providers, new and existing, in our community for that entire year. And what I've come to realize is that it can be a very lonely experience. And part of my job as community is to make sure everyone feels connected and empowered and informed. So many of us are just sitting at home in our basements, our offices, just kind of working on Filecoin without the context or perspective of what's going on across the globe. And providing that information, providing those points of connection, I think is extremely important for everyone to have a clear view on what the best path forward is for them and how to build a business around it. And what I can tell you is that the community that you're a part of is filled with some of the most talented and smart technicians and business people, entrepreneurs that I've ever come across in my career. So I feel very fortunate to work with the community, and hopefully you guys feel the honor and prestige of being such pioneering entrepreneurs within this space. I like to say the goal of community is to create opportunity for the ecosystem to show that anything that helps adoption grow. It's my little poem. So I'm a freelance poet if you ever need some birthday cards written. But ultimately what that means for you is I want you to grow. I want you to be the best version of yourself or your business that you could possibly be.
And that requires multiple things. That could be digital engagement and discussion, could be participating in community events such as DSPA. It could just be a view on how storage providers continue to grow, be more profitable, how niche specialization is occurring, and what are the opportunities for you to either pivot your business, focus your business, grow your business, etc. And ultimately, it's also about level 1 support. So before this, I was in customer experience for Coinbase, and a lot of what we did was design L1 support for people within that community. And a lot of times, like, there's so many ways, there's no central point to get every answer within Filecoin. And you may need help trying to find those answers. So my team and myself are dedicated to making sure we can get you in the right place at the right time with the right person to get your questions answered. It's impossible for anyone to know exactly all the answers within Filecoin, but what we don't want anyone to do is suffer in silence, and we want to make sure you can get your questions answered if you have them, technical, business, operational, whatever they may be. Community's here to help. One of the questions I get most frequently is, what is the difference between Protocol Labs and Filecoin Foundation? So myself, Galen, Caitlin, we're all part of the Filecoin Foundation. And my simplified definition, point of clarity between Protocol Labs and the Foundation is, Protocol Labs is dedicated to building. They have engineering and product teams. They do investment within the ecosystem. Filecoin Foundation, at least from a community perspective, is about engagement,
execution, and amplification. And it's making sure the theme of community is a lot around this concept of amplification. We want to make sure that you're aware of all the latest, greatest news, technical releases, product releases, new tooling available, different events, opportunities for you to participate, grow, and accelerate your business. And it's up to you. Everyone has a unique approach to doing Filecoin. So we just want to make sure we have a constant flow of information to you so you can take what is most useful to you and the business that you're working on. So today in particularly, I wanted to focus on business models. I don't think as a community we spend enough time discussing what Filecoin looks like 3 to 5 years from now. I think a lot of the conversations that I'm a part of on a week-to-week basis are focused on the short term. Mind you, there's a lot going on in the short term, and there's a lot to be discussed, a lot of hurdles that everyone's trying to get over, and I can understand and empathize with that getting to look longer term can be extremely difficult, but nevertheless, also extremely important. And why I want to talk about this is the obvious. Block rewards are declining. We've seen a 38% decrease from 1 year ago today in block rewards. And that has a significant impact. Now more than ever, you just can't simply rely on block rewards as the primary driver of your business. I think 2 years ago in August, the block rewards for were I think at 1,500 Filecoin per reward, and right now I want to say it's about 90% of that. So a lot's changed in 2 years, and because of that, a lot of approaches to people's business models have changed as well. And what I want everyone in this room to realize is that in 3 to 5 years, you can be a major player in this space. But it's a question of how are you planning and thinking about how you're going to achieve that goal. Block rewards as a single line item business model is probably not going to be your answer. It's possible, just not probable. And for me, when I'm planning, if I'm betting my time and money on an endeavor such as Filecoin, I want to stack the deck in my favor to make sure I can generate positive outcomes with the lowest risk possible. So there's a lot of options you can do when pursuing a diversified business model. So one of the options is charging for storage. And when you look at the competitive landscape, I think Filecoin sets up really well. The average storage, the competitive market is, focused on $4 to $5 per terabyte per month with some of our competitors, such as Storage, Arweave, and other decentralized storage options. There's also Wasabi and, oh my God, I'm blanking on the other one. But Backblaze, that's what I was thinking of. That kind of come in at the $6 per tib per month. And I do think that represents an opportunity. When I look at Arweave and Storage, it's really hard to consider them competitors based on their scalability, their functionality, some of their architectural designs. So I do think we're by far and away the leader in decentralized storage. When you look at the public cloud space, they're a centralized system. They're not as prevalent in APAC, Middle East and Africa, Latin America. They tend to circulate around the bigger cities, and that also creates an opportunity. One of the interesting questions we got from yesterday's session was, what does Malaysia look like? And as Malaysia as an example, there's real opportunity there for everyone to perhaps enter the decentralized storage space and offer a competitive, differentiated opportunity. At the end of the day, where I see people winning on Filecoin is you can win on price, you can have an opportunity to win on customer service, win on decentralization, and win on proof of storage. I also think there's another additional opportunity in here where Filecoin could be positioned to win in green energy and sustainable impact as another differentiator. I know, for example, that Ubisoft, which is a major game company out of Europe, one of their number one criteria for picking where their data storage vendor is, what is their carbon footprint? So it's just an example that major enterprises can see something like green energy as a differentiator. And ultimately, what I want to encourage you all to think of is, if you could get to a model where you're charging for storage, what would that do for your business? We also see across the rest of the community that it's not just selling archival storage, but they're selling all tiers of storage, with Filecoin being the archival tier. And what that does and why that's an interesting model is because it increases your total contract value. And when you increase your total contract value to, say, $20 a tib per month, or even, we've seen some as high as $30 to $50 per tib per month, now you have enough, cash flow coming in to really grow and sustain your operations. What I don't want is everyone starting off in Filecoin to run out of money in 18 months. We want you to grow, we want you to succeed, and make sure that you have a sustainable business model first and foremost, and that you're finding ways to differentiate going forward. The second option I want to talk about is diversification. And this is where you may not see what's going on across the community as we speak. But there's a lot of businesses that may have started as storage providers, but are doing things a little differently to help, diversified revenue streams help sustain your business throughout, especially a bear market. Whereas if you had a single business model focused on block rewards, you're probably feeling a significant amount of pain at the moment. So what I wanted to do is just highlight some of the examples of people doing different things across the ecosystem. We have people selling storage, sealing as a service has come on as a business model within the ecosystem. We have people trying to sell excess GPUs to the marketplace for AI training models, for example. Infrastructure as a service, Filecoin as a service that you may have been aware of with Bitmain recently entering the space. We see a lot of growth in the DeFi and DeFi staking across the ecosystem with some of the participants here today that you'll see, from STFIL to Glyph and other DeFi staking protocols. We see DAOs being created, such as Lagrange DAO. Charles Xiao is here this week and has created a whole decentralized computing platform where he's basing it as a component to diversify his Filecoin storage provider business, Filswan. We see retrieval as a service and people participating in Saturn coming on. We see IT consultants such as Ernst & Young, PwC, Deloitte entering the space. We have a lot of software developers working with EVM or just building software to help enterprise onboarding coming more into the space as a way to facilitate the end-to-end client experience, and different GPU marketplaces being created to help support AI growth in general. Because it turns out that being a Filecoin storage provider provides the high-quality GPUs that can really be used in AI above and beyond most other protocols in the industry. And then there's all these opportunities that no one's thought about and no one's pursued yet. One of the things that I see becoming more prevalent over the next year is more specialization focus in terms of what it means to be a storage provider. I think what the trend you're going to see is that there's going to be storage providers focused on sales and business development, and then there's going to be storage providers just focused on running the Filecoin node and actually storing the data. If you're curious about what this looks like, Angela from Arc Data Services is here today. She is pursuing the sales-focused business model and is building out a network of storage providers that have been in Filecoin for a year or two to be her partners in the storage-focused model. And it allows them both to specialize on their core competency. It's a lot better way to grow faster, to run more lean, and to still capitalize on the Filecoin opportunity. So I do think that with software and tooling available that's recently come to fruition over the last 9 months, year, the rise of the sales-focused model is becoming more prevalent. And I think you're going to see a lot more storage providers working on driving client pipeline for paid storage deals coming into the ecosystem. And again, when you bring in that pipeline, you're driving more cash flows to sustain your business model and to make sure that you can grow to the scale that you're comfortable with going forward. And then there's all these opportunities that have yet to be discovered. In my oversimplified view of what the client expects when they're working with Filecoin, there's the UI. We have, as Paul Wagner said in his speech yesterday, we don't have a very good UI or universal UI that people are showing. One of the biggest challenges I think Filecoin has today is there's no good way to demo Filecoin within 15 minutes. And frankly, that's what enterprise or large customers expect when they're being pitched to in what you may have 30 to a 45-minute meeting. There's always room for enhancements in data movement. We do have a lot of work in the S3 API space from Project Motion coming out of Protocol Labs. S3 Telnex is releasing an API, as well as other players within the ecosystem. We're working with data transfer networks to improve data movement, such as Stellia. We have enhanced data preparation tools coming out with Singularity V2 in particular. From a data storage perspective, we have people who are focusing on managing your Lotus Miner, Lotus Daemon, and Boost nodes, taking that on as a service. We have sealing as a service, and plenty of collateral lenders and borrowers to support like your pledge requirements for doing deals. Retrievals are coming on from Saturn. And we are also talking to data warehousing solutions where they're like doing almost the unsealed copy as a service to support more, to reduce the cost and burden of doing holding that unsealed copy for retrievals coming on as well. And we still are not fully in the age of compute over data. And what does that look like from a business model perspective to make sure that you're giving your clients maximum value? And frankly, if you look at that end-to-end spectrum, there's just so much in there that's not included. Like, this is a high level, there's plenty of rooms for your vision and opportunity. And what I can tell you with confidence from the community, that if you do a good product, a good piece of tooling or software, it will get used, it will get adopted. And that's where the community team that I'm a part of at Filecoin Foundation can help you make sure you're getting the exposure when you do create tools or software that can help the ecosystem. And that's the big thing. Like, you are not alone. We're here to help you. We're here to help you and coach you. And if you have solutions or products or services that you want to release, whether it's for your clients or the clients of the community or other storage providers, we can help you make that initial introduction. And everyone, as I say, everyone will get support when going to market. And then from there, as you can expect, an open economy, open ecosystem, it is up to the market to determine whether or not you get continued support. And I think that's the laissez-faire model that I think everyone was attracted to with Filecoin, and then that's how the community works as well. So the opportunities are endless. I really hope you look to diversify your business models. I really hope you're looking at a 5-year plan and how you can really grow to be a substantial player within the ecosystem. Everyone in Filecoin started in the seat you are today at one point in time. And we have so many great and exciting success stories of people who have substantial businesses. What I also encourage you is that you don't suffer in silence. There are multiple ways to engage with the community and your peers, from Slack to Twitter to D-Store to Telegram. Just want you to make sure that you're getting the information you need and you're aware of what's going on, that you can see the full picture of Filecoin, because I do think that's going to help you be the best help to you going forward. If you need to get connected to any of these channels, or if you need help getting connected to any of these channels, please let me know. I'm more than happy to get you plugged in. I do think that is essential, and is my number one recommendation, is if you're in Filecoin, you should be consuming at least a little bit of information a week to make sure you're up to speed on all the things going on, all the new updates, and all the opportunities that are being presented. Finally, we have our first event focused on the global storage provider network in Vegas. We're going to have a very interesting conversation around Filecoin D-Store on how to build a business that's going after a more paid storage deals. We also have a really all-star lineup for a conversation on artificial intelligence and the role Filecoin can play in the AI revolution. We have we have people from AMD, we have unicorn startup founders from the US, we have venture capitalists who are experts in the space, and I think it's really going to paint an interesting picture of how decentralized storage, and Filecoin in particular, is an integral part to the conversation on the AI revolution that is occurring beneath our feet and as we speak. This is October 3rd through 5th in Las Vegas. We'd love for you to attend. I think it's going to be a really exciting storage provider event. And with that, I encourage you to look around at who is here this week. We have so many experts from Protocol Labs, Filecoin Foundation, the community from across the globe, from Asia Pac, US, Europe. I encourage you to have these conversations on business models. What does growth look like? What are the best practices? And if I could implore you to do one thing, is to commit to a path forward where block rewards are not the answer to your business, your only aspect to your business model. There are many ways you can go forward in the Filecoin, but what I want is for you to be in this room 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And while it's possible that you can have a business with block rewards, I want it probable that you're here and successful and growing 3 to 5 years from now. The answer is here with all the experts that we've gathered here in Singapore. I encourage you to maximize your conversation and time with this exciting and talented group. And I wish you all the best of luck. And if there's anything that the community can do to help you out, we are more than willing to help, support, educate, enable you in any way we possibly can. Thank you for your time.